The Ford Escape is one of the most popular compact SUVs. This one is different though. It's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, a PHEV. What is the place of the PHEV as the automotive industry transitions so rapidly toward an electrified future? Let's find out today on Family Wheels. Your likes give Family Wheels torque and horsepower, and so does subscribing to this channel. Subscribers, click the little bell to be notified when a new review is released. Leave a comment, and if you're in a generous mood, watch a brief ad. It all helps. By the way, this is a 2021 model, but the only difference in the 22 Escape is that more colors are offered. Our review vehicle is the top-level titanium specification. Driving dozens of different cars per year is, as you might guess, fun, and I enjoy the hours of research required to arrive at a clear picture of each vehicle reviewed. But in the case of the Ford Escape plug-in hybrid, that path leads us to economics. What historian Thomas Carlyle called the dismal science reveals the essence of the Escape PHEV. It's a subsidy special. Let's start with a U.S. example because the federal tax credit is so large. A credit of $6,843 is on the table. Even without state credits, it pulls the price of the Escape PHEV below that of the Escape Hybrid by more than $1,500. In Canada, PHEV credits are, wisely I think, only half the amount offered for full battery electric vehicles. This means a credit of $2,500 on the after-tax price. Here in the province of BC, the half credit also applies, meaning $1,500 for a total of $4,000. Quebec, the only other province with EV credits, offers a fat $4,000 for a total of $6,500. Bottom line, our Escape Titanium PHEV would still cost $5,000 more than its hybrid counterpart in most provinces, $3,500 more in BC, and $1,000 more in Quebec. These numbers might vary by a relatively small amount in an actual purchase, but the bottom line is that the economics of the Escape PHEV don't work without subsidies. I won't go into my page of calculations, but at Canadian or U.S. gas prices, it would take an eternity for the PHEV savings to cover the unsubsidized vehicle's extra cost, with the possible exception of Quebec, where payback would take about 3 years. Our Escape PHEV is not unique, of course. The subsidy game plays out in different ways across different vehicles in different jurisdictions. The premium on some other PHEVs or EVs far exceeds any subsidy or the likelihood of payback through fuel savings. Now, the PHEV Escape here is rated at, and I've got my notes in front of me, 60 kilometers or 37 miles of range. I just unplugged it from my garage at 100% charging according to my app, and it says I've got 34 kilometers of range. That's 26 less than the rated amount. Other times I've charged it up, it said it's had more than 50K. And so you really have to take all these range estimates with a grain of salt, whoever the manufacturer is. One of the 4 modes of electric driving is full electric. That is to say, it's not using the internal combustion engine. Only it is. We just got going, and I guess it wants to get the engine up to operating temperature, perhaps if I demand heat of it. And so I have a sign in front of me that says, engine enabled for system performance. And I think you'd run into that if you were running the air conditioning in the summer as well, but particularly in the winter when things are colder. Our Escape plug-in hybrid is not what you'd call a high-performance vehicle, but really that's not what the buyer is looking for. Does it have enough power to get you onto the freeway, for instance, or up a steep hill? The answer is yes. With the 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine, plus the hybrid drive, we get 221 horsepower. That's not tons, but it's certainly adequate. One area of disappointment, though, is when you go into all-electric drive, which I'm going to do now. It's really flat in its response. Usually you expect quite an invigorating surge. In this car, you just don't get that same response. It's really flat. A note of caution to potential buyers, especially those living in snowy or rainy areas. Unlike most of the Escape lineup, the PHEV is only available with front-wheel drive. Titanium is the top spec in a lot of Fords, and that's the case here with our Escape PHEV. Yes, we have a panoramic moonroof, but it doesn't start until basically the front edge of my head. The driver and front passenger don't get much benefit from the sunroof that way, although everybody in the rear seat gets a nice ride. This fake wood, this blonde wood trim along here, looks really artificial, and maybe if they went for a matte finish instead of gloss, it'd be nicer. Another point that I'm not crazy about is the sound system. The bass is boomy, and it's hard to get that boom out by adjusting the tone controls. Not a great performance by B&O there. Our Escape is plugged in and charging. Good time to try it out for cargo space. We've got 3 bags of groceries, a backpack, and a stroller to fit into it. So yes, everything fits with a little room left to spare. A few notes: we have under here a compact spare tire, always nice to see. Bit of an odd note: this floor to the cargo area actually slopes upward by, I don't know, an inch or two at the other end. It may take away a small bit of space, but it's just a bit odd when you usually see a flat floor. There are no releases for the rear seats here. You have to go into the rear doors and flip up a handle along the side of each seat. No great problem there. One thing I find a little bit strange is there's no cover here, and I don't even see a mounting point for a cover to go in. And the Escape definitely passes our child seat test. Our rear-facing child seat, which, as you know, takes up the most room, is behind me, secured, and here in front. Got about a good 2-3 inches of room in front of my knees. There's a decent amount of room in the back of the Escape. I'm 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 centimeters. There's a couple of inches in front of my knees, and my feet are not touching the seat underneath. I find the seat cushion to be a little short for my legs. Wouldn't be great for a long trip, but for trips around town, and of course for kids, it'd be just fine. We don't have heated seats back here, but there are a couple of HVAC vents and 2 USB outlets, one USB-A and one C. Just before we go, I want to point out a little bit of local interest and color in Vancouver. In the distance, you'll see a big red barge. That's come to be known as the English Bay Barge. We had a terrible storm in our area, and it blew that barge up onto the shores of English Bay, where it has been for many weeks. You can look it up on your news feed. That's our look at the Ford Escape, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, PHEV. I'd like to know what you think. Leave a comment. Of course, give us a like, and thanks for subscribing. I'm Richard Detman. I'll see you next time on Family Wheels.